Imagine the person you trust most in the world is the one holding the knife. In Atchison, Kansas, there's a house that doesn't just hold memories, it holds a grudge. They call it the Sally House. But don't let the name fool you. This isn't just a ghost story about a little girl. It's a story about a botched surgery, a dying scream, and a spirit that has spent over a century seeking revenge on every man who dares enter. In the early 1900s, Atchison had 15,000 residents, but not a single hospital. If you were dying, you went to the home of Dr. Charles Finney. One afternoon, a frantic mother pounded on the doctor's door. In her arms was 6-year-old Sally, her body doubling over from a ruptured appendix. Dr. Finney knew he didn't have time to wait. He prepped the ether, but the anesthesia hadn't yet taken hold when he gripped his scalpel. Thinking he was saving her, he made the first deep incision. Sally woke up. She died in a state of absolute white-hot terror, looking up at the man she believed was torturing her. She bled out on the table, her final breath a scream of betrayal. The house sat silent for decades until 1992, when Tony and Deborah Pickman moved in. They were expecting their first child. It was supposed to be their dream home, but Sally had other plans. It started with the light bulb shattering and the oven timer counting down to 0. Their dog would stand at the nursery door, hackles raised, growling at an empty corner. Then it got personal. Tony began hearing voices, whispers that grew into a deafening roar. Only he could hear. He felt teeth nibbling on his toes in the dark. But the real horror began during a dinner party. As their friends watched in frozen silence, 3 deep, bloody welts were etched into Tony's forehead by an invisible hand. It didn't stop there. Tony would wake up with his wrists covered in blisters, burn marks in the shape of a small, child-sized fingerprints. Sally wasn't just playing. She was hunting. Investigators now believe Sally might be a facade, a mask worn by something much older and more demonic that feeds on the trauma of that little girl. They call her the man-hating ghost, a spirit frozen in the moment of her butchery, taking it out on every man she sees. So, if you visit Atchison, go ahead and step inside. And if you really want to test your nerve, you can stay the night. Next, I'm going to Limp Mansion, St. Louis, Missouri. The innate fear of the dark most people have didn't develop over the ages because of nothing. It developed because the spirits that hunted us then are still here today.